Hey Pambam, have you ever found yourself doubting your abilities, wondering if you're good enough, or feeling like you don't belong? Well, today's show is going to change all of that. So, we're diving into how to conquer imposter syndrome and lead with confidence. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. But first, if you're new here, welcome to Talking Business with Ritz. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you're always in the loop. So let's keep building this amazing community. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so welcome to Talking Business with Ritz, the show that humanizes entrepreneurship by showcasing the human behind the title before the offer. So I'm your host, Ritzo Loredo Rectra, and today's topic is one that I know so many of us can relate, which is imposter syndrome. And let's be honest, right? Self doubt has a way of creeping in at the worst time. I know. All right, so get comfortable, grab a notebook, and let's start this journey together. All right. So, but before we jump into all this jam, Daniel or my guest has to share. Okay. Let's take a moment to get to know the incredible woman behind the expertise. So, you're going to love this. All right. Let's go. All right. We are now in the Know the Expert segment. And our guest for today, let me just add her on screen so that I won't be talking by myself. Here we go. All right, our guest today is none other than Coach Daniel the Teach. She is a work with ease coach dedicated to helping women leaders find balance, ditch the grind culture, and create success stories that reflect their whole lives and not just their careers. So, Coach Danny, all right, personal Coach Danny's personal journey is powerful. She's transformed her creativity and operational skill into a six-figure luxury brand and now mentors women to own their confidence, detox their calendars. So that means they're going to free up more time and build systems that work for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Coach Daniel the Teach to the show. All right, Coach Danny. It's great to have you here. Tell me, where are you located right now?
I am located in New Orleans, Louisiana.
All right. So now let's get to know the human behind the title. Are you ready, Daniel?
I am ready.
All right. Now let's change the format. Here we go. So Coach Danny, can you share a little about yourself? Who is Coach Daniel the teach beyond the coach title?
So, beyond the coach title, I am a wife, a mother, a dog mom. Um, I just really enjoy life, travel. Um, Part of what I really enjoy is being able to relax. So, being a work with these coach is really a lifestyle, not just a title. So, having that balance that allows me to travel, that allows me to be present in all areas of my life. So, that is something that's really important to me. I love to cook. I'm trying to think of some other things that I really love. I love sitting outside and playing with the bubbles. I just really like
Right.
finding the fun things in life and reconnecting with those things that sometimes we don't think about that bring us joy.
Right, right. So, what motivated you to become the work with is coach?
Actually, just life, just reaching that point in life where I realized that I was, checking all the boxes, but I wasn't really happy. I
Mm-hmm.
was, doing everything all the time, had to be the best at everything. So, you know, all of the school activities and then, work things and, just doing it all. And, unfortunately, it was a grief situation. My grandmother got sick and then
Mm-hmm.
eventually passed away. And during that
Mm-hmm.
process, I realized that a lot of those other things didn't matter. And I, kind of went into a little bit of a depression. And when I came out, I wanted to rebuild my life focused on the things that mattered. So that just shifted me to, really sit down and figure out, what do I want? Not just what am I supposed to do, but what do I really, really want out of life? And then how can I restructure my life to make that what's shining through?
Right. So that propels you to actually create this workflow company
Workflow.
that you're
Yes.
doing right now.
Yes.
Right. That's interesting to know where and what actually propelled you actually to start this entrepreneurial journey. So, yeah. Um, what's one key experience in your journey that had actually shaped how you do business today?
I think realizing that I can do it my way.
Mm,
I think a lot of times we're told this is the way to do this thing, and we struggle when that doesn't align with who we are as a person.
mm-hmm.
So realizing that, I can listen to all of the advice, I can get all of the information, but ultimately if I'm going to be authentic, if I'm going to be committed to this, I have to figure out what is my way. And then once you once you figure out what that looks like, then it's so much easier to just, confidently walk in what you're doing because it's connected to you. It's not you're not walking in somebody else's shoes.
Right, right. That's a very vital insight or very vital information to us. Most of us, when we try to start this entrepreneurial journey, right, we get a coach or we get advice from other people, or we try to mimic them to
Mhm.
the T, right, to the
Yes,
T.
yes.
Uh, but then ended up, that's not what I want to do. That's not who I am, right? And then we start over.
Right. And a lot of times, we wonder why we're not succeeding. Like the person gave us the formula and we followed the formula and it's not working. And sometimes it wasn't the formula for you, or you needed to modify the
Yeah.
formula. You needed to take those parts that worked and modify it. I had a coaching sister and she was struggling with doing email sequences.
Yeah, true.
And we were having a conversation about it, and I said, "Well, have you ever thought about doing video content instead of written content?" Because she was
Mm.
very dynamic on camera, and that was
Ah,
a game changer for her. She was still doing the email sequence, but her visual presentation was stronger than her written. And so it was just a quick adjustment that made something that was like, she was butting her head against the wall, trying to do it the way that it was assigned. But
ah,
we have to really dig into who we are
right.
and then, you know, balance that with information that we're being given and then, create something altogether different. So it's our own new recipe, not just the recipe that we were given.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And if we are authentic enough, right, we will actually attract people that wants our services or wants to be, wants our content and all that stuff. So yeah. So this is really is a vital insight that you provided that we're talking about. So thank you for sharing that. So all right, now before we get into the deep stuff, right? Let us have a little fun first with a lightning round of questions. All right. So these are very quick, light, and just for fun. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Okay, now first question. What's one word your friends would use to describe you?
Oh, the word that I get the most is wise, and that feels like such an old word, but
Mhm.
I'm owning it.
All right, now coffee or tea?
T,
Tea. Okay.
hands down.
Hands down. All right. What's your guilty pleasure TV show?
I would probably say Judge Judy.
Judge Judy. Oh, I like that. All right. Cats or dogs? All right.
Dogs. Dogs.
Dogs.
Yes.
If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Think about it.
Whew. I think it's a tie. I think it's a tie between tacos and macaroni and cheese.
Tacos and macaronis. All right. Go with tacos.
You can't fail with tacos. You really can't.
Yeah. All right. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl. All right. What's the last thing you Googled?
How to zap some information into my database.
All right. Now, if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. Um, that one is really hard. I'm trying to think of who I would really want to just sit down and have like hash it out with. I'm gonna say Jesus.
All right. All right. Okay. How hard is that? That shouldn't be hard. It's like instant answer, Jesus. Right? Okay. Now, what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
My favorite way to unwind is to get into my PJs and just, sit on the sofa with my family and
Mm,
kind of veg out.
wow.
Yes.
All right. Now, a little bit on the serious side. Let's say you are talking to your younger self right now. Right? So imagine her. I don't know what age or yeah, but imagine her right now in front of you. What advice would you give your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that the things that you think make you different are also
Mm-hmm.
the things that make you amazing.
Right. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing, Daniel. Thank you very much. All right. Now I love learning these fun little things about our guests. So I keep on changing the questions. Yeah. So that they can't memorize it.
No, it's fun when it just comes off the top of your head.
All right. Now, did you have fun? That's my
Yes.
question.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Now let's get into why Daniel is here. Fam bam. So, but then before we do that, make sure to ta-da, like and subscribe. All right, hit that like button and that subscribe button and share this video as well. All right, stay tuned. Here we go. All right, welcome back, amazing fanbams. We are now in the Learn from the Experts segment. So Daniel has a lot of wisdom to share about conquering imposter syndrome, and I know this is going to resonate deeply. All right, so stick around because you're about to get some life changing insights. Right, now let's prepare our banner. Before that, let's get rid of this for now. Here we go. So, our topic for today is how to conquer imposter syndrome and lead with confidence. All right, now, first question, why do so many of us struggle with imposter syndrome? What is it? And what's the very first step to overcoming it?
So I think there are many definitions of imposter syndrome. A lot of people feel as though other people are more together than them, right? You're comparing yourself to other people and they look like they're more together. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like in that instance, it comes down to you're comparing someone's highlights reel to your full life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see what's going on inside of their heads. You don't see what's going on behind the scenes, right? So
Right.
there's that comparison thing. And so you feel like, well, they seem together and I don't belong here. There's another thing that I like to talk about with which I call worth dysmorphia. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're familiar with, in the body image arena, there's body dysmorphia where people look at themselves and they see something different than what's happening in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happens with worth. I meet amazing, amazing women as clients when I'm at events, and I'm so excited to meet this person because of all the great things that I know this person has done. But when you have those conversations one on one, you
Mm-hmm.
see that they don't see themselves in that same way. So they have kind of shrunken inside and they don't see their full worth. And so when they go into spaces that they absolutely belong in, they
Mm-hmm.
feel like they don't belong because they have, you know, kind of, distorted their own worth.
Yeah. So it's like it's only in their head, right?
Yeah, I mean it really is that we have that voice in our head that tells us all of these things, and a part of the process I go through with my clients, we figure out what is that voice? What is it saying? Where does it come from?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we then alter what that voice is saying?
Right. Right. I have a funny name for that voice, actually. I call him Monkey. Yeah. Especially when I have a list of things to do, right? A list of things that I need to accomplish for, I don't know, like a week or so. And every time I start doing, then there's this voice keeps on, yammering inside my head. You can't do it. Why do you need to do it? It's not for you. You're not good for that. Something like that. It's something new to you. You think you can do it. Something
Eh,
like that, right?
Yeah,
I
I
call him
mean, and
Master Banana Monkey.
yeah, no, and that voice comes from somewhere. So the
True.
first step of, conquering imposter syndrome, the first step of conquering anything is discovery. Because
Mm,
we want the voice to be quiet, but if we don't know where the voice is coming from, how can we quiet the voice, right? So
exactly.
we have to think about where did that voice come from. A lot of times, I had somebody say that they didn't speak up because a teacher told them once when they were young that they talked too much. You know,
Mhm.
that's the type of things that get internalized. And it could be societal, it could be a family member, it could be an experience, a bad experience that we've
Mhm.
had that is feeding that voice. But the
Mhm.
key, so like you said, you call him monkey.
Yeah.
So how do we get monkey to be quiet?
Yeah.
And so
I
once
hope I
once we know what it's trying to say to us, then the next step is we have to try to start uncovering our confidence. And part of that is like, I do an exercise of fact and fiction.
can. Mhm.
So that voice may be saying, you can't do this. You don't have the capability of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
The facts are, if I asked you to list 10 things that you did similar to this, you probably have a list,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
harder than this, right? Because sometimes we struggle with something that's super easy and we've done hard things. So we have to start calling that voice out like, wait, okay, can you justify to me why I feel this way? Because
Mm.
I've done this before, so I can do it again. I like, let's say, you having a speaking engagement or something like that. I know my material. So
Mm-hmm.
even if I go off script, I'm going to be okay. So it's retraining the voice in your head so that monkey goes away, and you're inserting a cheerleader now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's basically using fact to tell monkey, shut up. Just
Right,
up.
right.
But
Yeah, sometimes they're so loud, and the struggle is really like sometimes it's so painful, you know. Um, it's debilitating sometimes
yes, yes.
that you really cannot do anything. You cannot move. I mean, move in the sense that you cannot do what you want to do, what
Right.
you really need to do, right?
Yeah, it definitely can be debilitating. And I mean, like, I suffer with anxiety. And so there was like, when my anxiety is bad, like, I'm physically, like, I have physical manifestation of it.
Mm,
And that's even more reason to start calling it out. So when you start feeling the symptoms, when you start hearing the voice,
mm,
don't let it build up. Call it out in that moment, because when I call it naming it and shaming it. When you call it out, then you switch from that, like, kind of irrational bunny trail that you go down,
right.
and you start being a little more rational about it. Like, I can totally do this. Like, this is a easy task. These are the steps. What's the first step? And just do that first step, because action dissipates a lot of that fear, anxiety that's talking to
Mm-hmm.
you. Because if you can show it with action, no, I can do this. And again, just one small step, because like you said, sometimes it's debilitating. So if you have a huge project to do and you're just stuck because the voice is saying, you can't do this, you're not good enough, somebody else should have got the project. If that voice is telling you that, you can just start with, you know what, step one is, let me open the file that I need to
Mm-hmm.
review,
Right.
and just do that one step, and then keep moving forward. And your production is going to silence that doubt, because you are giving it evidence that I got this.
Right. How about insecurity? Is it a product of imposter syndrome, or I don't know?
Is very directly connected.
Oh.
Insecurity often comes from the same places, the same roots as imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, with insecurity, usually insecurity is related to some sort of comparison, right? So we
Right.
have to, deal with our comparison issues. And one thing that I tell people all the time, because it's reassuring to me and I hope it's reassuring to other people, the more people that I meet,
Mm-hmm.
mentors, people that I see doing amazing things,
Right.
when you really get behind the scenes and have those conversations, they have the same feelings as you. Just like this show, you are humanizing the
Yeah.
entrepreneur. We are all human. We all
Yeah.
have doubt. We all have insecurities. We all face imposter syndrome. It doesn't go away. We just learn how to work within it so that we can be confident and move forward. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as comparison, everybody woke up this morning not knowing what was going to happen today.
Right.
and everybody is going to make the best decisions that they can with the information that they have at their disposal. So we're all figuring it out every single day, moment by moment, minute by minute. There's no one that is just like, I have the blueprint and everything is going to go according to this plan. You
Right.
know, you could have woke up this morning with a perfect plan and then it's storming raining outside and you were planning on going take a run. You
Right.
had to pivot based off of that information. So even the people that you think have it together, they do not. They don't. They just are working through it. They just keep going. It's not that they don't have doubt. It's not that they're not, struggling or wondering, am I doing the
Right.
right thing? They just keep going. They just look at, okay, well, I've done hard things before. I can do hard things again.
Right. So when we say allowing ourselves to be human, right, especially in social media, how far can we go? I mean, what does that look like really in practice?
So I think it looks like just bringing yourself to the table. Like, we talked before about the whole idea of um fitting into somebody else's plan, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so it is really making sure that you're coming to the table, that you're not cookie cutter, but you
Mhm.
get to decide how much of you want to share, right? Because I know a lot of people will like struggle with, well, I don't want to be that open on social media. You get to
Mhm.
choose. You get to
Yes.
choose how much you want to share, what things you want to share. Because maybe you share about your business, but you don't want to share about your family.
Mhm.
That's okay. It's fine. You get to curate what that looks like, but just make sure it all looks real, because I think people can tell when you're, putting on an act.
Mm.
And with confidence, I talk about external and internal confidence.
Mhm.
External confidence is I can walk into a room and I can own that room, right? Internal confidence is I can own my thoughts.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people show up on social media, exerting that external confidence, but they're not internally confident. And so there's a disconnect. And so they're wondering why they're not connecting with people. It's because
Mm.
you're not dealing with the inside. You're not dealing, and it shows up as fake.
Right. So how do you strengthen that confidence muscle, that internal confidence muscle?
So you start to do exercises and activities that, one, highlight where your strengths are,
Mhm.
and then you keep bringing yourself back there. So we have a tendency to lock in all of the bad things that ever happened every time
Mm.
we tripped or stumbled or did the wrong thing, but we don't resonate on the things that we've done that have been successful. So one of the exercises I do with a lot of my clients, I do it so much that one of my clients was like, you need to make this into a product, is a success journal. And
Oh.
with the success journal, basically it's so that every day you can sit down and write something that you did that was successful and
Mhm.
reflect on that. And so then your brain starts to see that you are a successful person, that you do successful things every day. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to win the Nobel Peace Prize every day.
Yeah.
It could be that, you had a paper jam and you got it out, and that was a success, because in that moment, we all know what that's like, that frustration, but then that elation at the end when you were successful. So it's retraining your mind
Mhm.
towards success, towards that voice saying positive things about you, and creating, I like to create a arsenal of tools
Mhm.
around confidence. And so you can always go back to those things. And I even do a mood board with my clients, of it's their confidence board, and
Right.
it has all of the different things, including their meaningful affirmations, and a powerful picture of themselves, and the things that they are proud of about themselves. So you have something constantly to reflect upon that reminds you that I can do this.
Right.
I'm capable.
Right. So actually, most human beings are more on visual, right?
Yes.
They are visual. We are visual cre- creature of the earth. So we learn by seeing, learn by before we do the hearing, right? So what you've said, these are the tools that are actually can help. It's just a matter of doing it, right?
Yes. 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 No, it's definitely so. My framework is unlock, which is like when we, talked about the, just figuring out where it comes from. And
Right.
I'm sorry, discovery, where we figure out where it comes from. Unlock, where we build those confidence tools. And then maintenance. So just what you were saying, like you have to stay in it, and you have to practice it, and go back and reflect on those successes that you've had.
Right.
When you are feeling self-doubt, pull out that journal and read an entry, and remember how you felt, and remember that that was you were that person that did that thing, and
Mm.
this thing is nothing in comparison. So there is a maintenance component to it. You have to do the work.
All right. So yeah, so this is like we have a very full of insights, this learn from the expert segment, but we are going to jump into more in the Q&A segment. But before that, let's acknowledge our viewer right now, which is a comment. Hi, Cynthia Balloons Jackson.
Hey,
Thank you
Miss
very much for
Cynthia.
yeah, thank you very much for being here. Yeah, awesome. We are awesome. Yes. Definitely. Yeah, we are going to jump into the Q&A segment. I'm just going to play the intro. And then, yeah, if you have a question, Miss Cynthia, yes, hey, yes. If you have a question um, to Coach Danny, do put it in the comment and we will flash it on the screen. And of course, our Coach Danny here will be answering the question. All right. So don't go away. This wraps up our Learn from the Expert segment. And it's time for some audience questions. All right. So let me then play our segment title. Here we go. All right. Welcome, Fambam, once again. We are now in the Q&A segment. So let me flash the first question on the screen. Here we go. So, first question: how can I rebuild my confidence after a major failure?
So I would say after a major failure, one, allow yourself time to process the failure, right? It's almost like a grief process of what happened. Look into that situation. What went right and what went wrong? Because even in major failures, there are successes. So we want to build off of those successful parts. And then what lesson was in that failure? I'm not a big fan of the word failure, because I feel like there is a lesson in everything that we do, and we can
Right.
always build and grow from it. I'm just thinking about, a particular instance that I would, consider a big failure. And I had to take a step back. I had to take a step back, dissect the situation. I realized where I misstepped, and then, of course, apologize to the client about that situation, correct it, but moving forward, recognizing this is where the misstep was, and knowing I have a solution for that.
Mhm.
So there's no, I don't like failure because it sounds terminal. There's you know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like, it's
That
like
works
the
for
end,
me.
like, is but it's really just a lesson to move
Yeah.
forward. But let
Right.
yourself feel what you need to feel in that moment. If you got to cry, scream, whatever you want to do, don't overlook that, but don't stay there. Don't get stuck there,
Right.
because I can promise you've had more successes than you've had failures.
Right. So it's failure is like opportunities for you to learn better,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now let's jump to the next question. What's the best way to stop comparing myself to others?
This is probably not the most traditional answer, but
Mhm.
sometimes you need to isolate yourself. Like, I'll tell people all the time, like, if I notice that they keep talking about this other person, stop
Mhm.
following them. And it's not, I think some people feel like, that's like a mean thing or a jealousy thing. It's not. But it's negatively affecting you. So if you're in a season where you are trying to build your confidence, or you're trying to do something, like when I'm creating something, if I'm creating a new program or something like that, I isolate myself because I want to be in my own thoughts. I don't want to be influenced by other people's thoughts. But when you
Mhm.
feel that you are constantly comparing yourself to another person, just step back for a moment, get more steady in yourself, and then you can revisit being connected to that person after you are in a better position. Because
Mhm.
comparison is the thief of joy. You don't want your
Yeah.
life to be derailed by what's going on with someone else. Their path is different than yours. It's never going to be the same. So even if you are doing similar things, your paths are different, but there is nothing wrong with isolating yourself or putting some space between yourself and the person that you're struggling with.
Right. Right. Thank you about that. So then we jump to the next question, which is can imposter syndrome ever fully go away?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think every emotion that we have has a place and a reason, but I'm a big believer of placing emotions in their proper place. So imposter syndrome is gonna come up, especially in situations where you are leveling up, right? So if you are, about to do something new or bigger than you've done before, it's going to, rear its head again. So it's never going to go away, but if you have the proper tools, you can manage it.
Right. Right. We do have like I think this is a follow-up question from the previous question. So I don't grieve well. How do I start? Can't seem to relax and release.
Grieving, Miss Cynthia, can you clarify that? Are you saying grieving like a failure, or if you're saying grieving a failure, I think it's just a matter of just allowing yourself to process it, allowing your um I think a lot of times we try to suppress our emotions,
Mm.
and that's not a healthy thing to do. We are supposed to have the whole range of emotions, just like the 64 box of Crayolas. We're supposed to have all of them. We're supposed to have them. But again, it's about placing them in their proper place and giving them the proper space and time. So sometimes we try to force ourselves out of sadness or
Mhm.
disappointment. Don't force yourself out of that emotion, just let yourself go through it, but at some point you have to come out of that and then move forward from there. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I believe so. She said, "That's it." All right. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. If you have more questions, do yeah, put it in the comment. Then we will move on to the next one, which is how do I balance confidence without sounding arrogant?
You can't control how people perceive you, and
Mm.
it's none of your business. That was a hard one for me to learn because I was raised to um not talk about your accomplishments because it may make
Mm,
other people
mm,
feel bad. And so that's been something that I had to unravel um my entire life. Like I feel like I'm just in a space where I feel comfortable talking about my ability, and not feeling arrogant about it, right? Like not,
Yeah.
so but the reality is no matter how humble you are, somebody is going to be offended by it. Somebody is going to be intimidated by it. And that is because they are dealing with their own stuff. They have not gone as far on the journey as you. That's not your problem and that's not your concern. You need to be able to continue to talk to that cheerleader in you and tell that monkey, go sit down and eat a banana. So,
Exactly.
you can't allow that to be your problem because it's not about you. The right people will never see it that way. The people who are confident in themselves will never see it as arrogance. They will just see that you are a confident person.
Right. Right. So I was like, you know, when you sign up for this interview, I was actually battling with this very noisy monkey in my head. So I'm trying to, uh, as I've said, I'm trying to scale, right? Or I'm trying to, how to say, pivot to another one, to another level, which I love because I'm a system consultant by
Okay.
profession, So I'm trying to um, pivot to that as a digital process automation specialist or consultant. So it's like it's very noisy. I cannot, where which angle should I go to, to lounge or whatever. So it's like when you sign up, okay, this is a good talk,
No, I
right?
mean, and just, it's also sometimes a good sign when that voice comes up, not the voice itself, but
Mm,
you're about to embark on something like remarkable. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a part of it. So, yeah, it's, most great things are a little bit scary and a little bit exciting.
right. Okay, so I pick up a lot, and some of what I'm actually doing is quite vindicated with what you said. Okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. I'm almost there.
Yes.
Okay, now next question we have, how can I ask for help without feeling weak or inadequate?
I love this question. I absolutely love this question. The reason why is, so I talked about that external confidence and the internal confidence. When you get to that place of internal confidence, not only does it unlock your authenticity, it
Hmm.
also is a space where I don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to know all things. I'm not fearful of asking questions because the external validation is not what I'm seeking, right? I
Right.
I want to be happy with me. It has, very little to do with how other people perceive me. So I don't have a problem asking for help. I don't have a problem saying I don't know. Because even if you consider yourself an expert, it doesn't mean you have to know all things.
Yeah, exactly.
You always learning, you're always growing, and the strongest thing that you can do is be open and vulnerable. Like, people look at vulnerability as a weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. The fact that you can do that shows that you're comfortable enough in your own skin that you can reach out and ask for help. It really is not a weakness. And a lot of times people around you want to help. It makes people feel more connected to you to be able to
Mm,
help you.
right. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong about asking for
No,
help,
no,
right?
no, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna work with East Coast, do it easy. It doesn't make sense to go the hard way and try to figure out something that somebody else has already figured out. Like,
Yeah.
just ask for help, and you'll be surprised how quickly the answers come when you just open up yourself to saying, I don't know this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see if we still have some questions from our audience. So, Cynthia, if you don't have any more questions, we will be moving to the next segment, right? I do have some more questions in my DM, but then yeah, we don't have any, and let's give her some chance, some time, like about 5 seconds. Start typing, Cynthia. And to our fam bam who are watching right now, start typing. Five. What should I do? A countdown?
These are for our speed typers.
Right, right, right. All right then. So you've provided wonderful insights today with our Q&A as well as follow up questions, question and answers from our Learn from the Expert segment, and it has been incredible. I also have some value bombs, right? Some um, I've gotten a lot of value bombs from you, and I think I know how to silence this monkey more
I'm
better.
glad. I'm absolutely glad.
All right, what an incredible episode we have. Thank you very much, Coach Danny. All right, now let's talk about how our viewers can work with Coach Danny here to take what they've learned today to the next level. Here we go. All right, welcome back again, once again. Fantastic Fam Bams. We are now in the Work with the Expert segment. Here are my top takeaways from today's conversation. So, confidence begins with identifying and reframing some of these insecurities, and and where are they coming from? These voices from your head, where are they coming from? You have to identify where they are coming from, and then owning your humanity is the key to long-term success, right?
Yes.
You can frame whatever um, type of contents that you want to show in your social media. Just be consistent about it, right?
Yeah.
And then building this confidence takes, as I've said, consistency,
Yeah.
and it has to be intentional. Okay. So now, Pam Bam, what about you? Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments below. Right. So let's get this conversation going. All right. Now, but before that, like and subscribe. All right. Here we go. Also remember that Daniel, Coach Danny, tell us more about your program, your capable and confident program, and how our audience can connect with you for deeper support.
So my capable confident challenge is a ditch imposter syndrome challenge is a 30-day challenge. I know the holidays are coming up, so the next round is going to be in January, and we're going to
Mhm.
start on the 15th. We usually start the first of the month, but
Right.
you know how January goes. So we're going to be starting on the 15th for this particular round. It is a
Mhm.
30-day self-paced challenge, so you have daily modules that you can go through at your own pace, but then we also do a weekly group coaching call so that we can work through the content, the areas that you're stuck. And
Mhm.
like I said, we go through discovery, we unlock your confidence, and then we go through tools of maintenance. So that is the challenge. You can go to capableandconfident.com to sign up for the challenge. I will also share with you guys if you want to add it to the post. I'll give you the link for I have the capable and confident woman's guide to ditch imposter syndrome. So I will offer that to the audience as a free download if they want to go ahead and download that. And so that has some of the exercises that we do in the bigger challenge to get you started. So those are ways that you can get started. If you just want to book a call or just, talk to me one-on-one, you can also go to coachdannyd.com and you can schedule a consultation and we can have a conversation about what's the best option for you moving forward.
All right. Now, how can they reach you through socials? Can they do that?
Yes, they can. They can reach me. So my social media handle for Instagram and for Facebook is at your workflow.
All
So
right.
you can reach me there on social
Mhm.
media.
All right. So it's the same Instagram and Facebook. All
Yes.
right. There we go. Okay, now thank you so much, Coach Danny. This is such an amazing opportunity for our viewers to level up. So, to my Bam Bam, check out Coach Danny's website, which is running at the bottom there, and connect with her now or maybe after the show to take advantage of her program. All right, so but before we wrap up, Coach Danny, what's one piece of advice you'd like to leave our Bam Bams with today?
Don't in the business world we have so much stuff that we are learning yourself is the most important
Mhm.
tool I've found through this entrepreneurial journey. So learning yourself, being open to growth and being open to, uncovering some parts. Maybe some of them gonna be a little ugly, but you can clean them up. But like
Mhm.
learning about yourself and getting connected to yourself is going to be your greatest tool in moving forward successfully.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Coach Danny, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and personal journey with us. It's been a true pleasure having you on the show. Can't thank you enough. Yeah, would you like to say your goodbyes to our audience?
Well, thank you for everybody listening now and later. Thank you for having me on the show. It was a pleasure to be here. It was I love the format of the show, and I got to get that clapping track. That's another confidence building tool. Uh, so definitely thank you for having me. Thank you for all of the listeners. And just take the first steps of getting yourself into a space where you are confident in yourself.
All right, you're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Coach Daniel De Teach. All right. Coming up next in Talking Business with Ritz, here we go. We'll be talking about how to avoid burnout to thrive in business and wellness. So mark your calendar on November 30 at this is Saturday. Okay, we're showing every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So make sure also to DM me your questions to be included in the Q&A segment. And as always, where is it? There you go. Like and subscribe. Don't forget and share this video as well to all your friends, your families that will benefit, that can help with the topic that we've discussed today. All right. Now, thank you for tuning in today. And remember, here in Talking Business with Rich, we humanize entrepreneurship because every story matters, including yours. Right? So until next time, stay inspired and keep pushing forward. This is Ritzel Loretta Rectra and our expert guest, Coach Daniel the Teach, a work with is coach. So stay safe and healthy as we continue talking business with Ritz. Bye, everybody.